But what I'm going to do is show how I make these leaf hooks, which I came up with this idea about 30 years ago. I started making these to use up my little scrap pieces, and this is the finished one, and this is before the final finish is put on it, and this is the setup piece that I start with. So since I make almost all of these out of something that's otherwise scrap, I'm going to start with this piece of cutoff from an old jog and draw it down into this setup piece on the power hammer. So after I preheat it, I'm going to I'll refine it a little bit with a hand hammer and then cut it off the bar, and then I'll start making the leaf. So that's the blob for the leaf. I'm going to take a nice hot heat, good heat, and then I'll spread it under the power hammer. Do the final spreading with the hand hammer. So I'm going to take another heat, and then I'm going to do the final spreading with my hand hammer. And I'm using this small hammer because it'll also give me the texture on the leaf that keeps it from being just a flat, shiny, flat piece. All right, the next step, I'm going to take another heat, and then I'll bring it over here to the treble hammer. And because I only have two hands and I need three to do this with, and I don't have an assistant, I'm going to put a groove in it, and I use a V-tooth and a small dull fuller. The thinner it gets, the more careful you have to be because it heats up quickly and it can burn. Now the next step is I'm going to take another heat and go over here to my wood block, and I'll give it the bulbous shape. Makes it look more like a generic leaf. The next step is to put the hole in it to hang it with, and because it's so thin, I don't dare drill the hole because it'll be too thin to support anything. So I'm going to punch the hole through, and that spreads the metal to the sides instead of taking it away. So I'm going to punch this hole in the middle using a small punch, about 3/16. And I'll start it on the back, and then I'll turn it over and drive the spot. There'll be a dark spot where I started the punch, so I'll drive it on through, and then I'll punch it out in one of these holes. Okay, the next thing is to put a point on the end, and then I'll do the little curl. The last thing is to bend the hook. I'm going to curl the tip so when I hit it, it doesn't deform it, and then I can bend it. Now the final step is to clean it and make sure there's no burrs on it, and I usually bead blast it. Then I heat it up in the forge or the gas forge and brush it with a brass brush. Gives it a little brass color on the highlights, and then I spray it with a clear plastic spray. So the final finish comes out looking more like this. And the thing is, since it's made from scrap and it's hand forged, no two of them are ever the same.